Ba-ba-da-da! Banjo Ben here at banjobenclark.com. This is your home for instructional videos and tabs when it comes to learning banjo, guitar, or mandolin. Well, today we have a mandolin, right? And many of you out there have just begun to play mandolin. Some of you have been playing for a little while. But one of the first things that you will discover when you start playing mandolin is that it's not all about the solo playing. It's a lot of fun to play our solo mandolin, but there's a whole other world of mandolin playing out there that we're going to have to learn, and that's the rhythm portion of things. And that's what today's video is going to begin to address. We have a whole series of mandolin rhythm videos, and I'm excited to get those started here at banjobenclark.com. I'm excited for you to learn how to play mandolin rhythm. The first thing that we think about when we think about rhythm is chords, right? So we need to talk about some basic chords and chord positions, and then we're going to talk about the timing side of things and techniques when it comes to making those chords come alive as rhythm. Let's get started. Let me tell you all about the first few things that we're going to be doing in this mandolin rhythm video lesson series. The best way to learn mandolin rhythm is to first learn some chords, okay? So we're going to learn a few basic chords in an open position. Next, we're going to apply those basic chords to a simple song, just so I can get you playing along with me. And then we're going to talk about our closed chord positions, which is really where our mandolin chop comes from. You bluegrass fans out there, you know that famous chop sound. We're going to talk about what role that plays and exactly how you play that. Now, in this particular video lesson series, I'm not going to have time to get into the nitty-gritty of the theory side of things. And I'm going to be using some vocabulary that perhaps you're not familiar with unless you watch one of my other video lesson series that I have available on my website at banjobenclark.com. If you become a Gold Pick member, and you may be watching this video on my website, but you can go to the guitar video section and click on the Essential Chord Theory video lesson series to really get beefed up for this particular lesson series, okay? If you're watching this video on YouTube and you would like to see a sample of what that video lesson series is, you can click right here. Bloop. There you go. And that's the first part of that video lesson series. And again, to watch the rest of that series and this series, please visit my website, banjobenclark.com, and become a Gold Pick member. Now let's dive into this rhythm stuff. What's that all about? The first thing I would like to talk about are a couple major groups, distinctions of chords that we're going to be playing with our left hand. This applies to banjo and guitar as well. But essentially we have what's called open chords and we have closed chords. And what does that mean? Well, an open chord means that we are using one or more of our open strings to help us complete the chord. A closed chord would mean that we do not use any of those open strings to help us complete the chord. We can either do that by playing all four strings, or if we're playing less than four strings, we're dampening or muting the open string with a part of our left hand, or maybe perhaps we're not playing it with our right hand. So the first thing I'd like to show you is how to play a few of our easy, open, left-handed chords. These are the first chords that you will probably all of us will learn as we play mandolin. If you're just starting mandolin, this is the first chords that you will learn. And we're going to learn these really quick and then apply a guitar style type of right hand strumming pattern to get you playing along on a song, okay? And we're going to start in the key of G. And the key of G has three main chords that are used in that key. Once again, we cover all that in detail in that video lesson series that I mentioned earlier. But how do we make an open G chord, the most simple G chord? And this is a really easy chord to make. I want you to go to your A string, which is this second string here, and play it on the second fret with your index finger. Then I would like for you to use your middle finger and play the third fret on this first string, which happens to be an E string. Now, since our first two open strings are G and a D, those are two notes inside of our G major chord. So by just completing these two fingers here, we're going to make an open G chord. Sounds like this. That's pretty, isn't it? Now the next chord we're going to look at is a C chord, an open C chord. And this one's really easy to make because all we're going to do is take this same two-finger position that we used in G, and we're going to scoot it up one string. Okay? So now we have the second fret on the D string, third fret on the A string, and we're now going to let this first string ring open. So we have two open strings, two fretted strings. Sounds like this. I want you to keep in mind that I like to put my thumb over the top of the mandolin, okay? And so the mandolin is resting on this fleshy part of my finger, okay? Many of you will post up your mandolin on the back of it and put your wrist in this really weird position. I don't do that. I like to just let the mandolin rest right there. I was telling you, let your thumb just kind of naturally rest on top, and then curl our fingers in to make these chords. At first you may notice that it's hard to get the strings really clean, but we want to be sure and be able to hear all four of these strings very cleanly. Those of you with real big fat fingers, you're going to have a little tougher time. That's okay, because the ones of us with tiny little skinny fingers, which I don't have, kind of have a hard time pressing both strings down at once. So we all have our strengths and weaknesses. The third chord that I would like to show you is a D chord. As I said, we have three main chords in the key of G that we will use very often. We learned our G, we learned our C. Now let's learn our D. It's also a really easy chord to make. We're going to take this first finger, play the the second fret of our G string down here. Okay. Then we're going to leave these middle two strings open and play with our middle finger the second fret of this E string, our first string. So you'll kind of curl around, get both of those. Sounds like that. Okay. So let's review those three chords. We have our G chord, remember, right here. We have our C chord, very easy. We just switch up one string. Then we have our D chord, which is right there. Okay? Now let's apply that to something so I can get you playing some rhythm right off the bat.